Obviously, they needed to talk about it as a family, and I think it was within the next day. But he told me I want to come there, and from the start. So I think that was something I knew. If the marriage worked, then it was going to be a shotgun wedding, if you will. So it was quick. It was fast, and Ryan White joked it was speed dating with the two of us talking on the phone, because both of us are kind of, no bullshit kind of guys. We just kind of lay it out there. He told me what he thought. I told him what I thought, that he was my number one choice, and that I wanted him to be the next coach here. And I think that helped us down the stretch.
Jim, when you guys made the decision on Kim and you guys decided to go in another direction, was that a head start looking back on it with this process, that you were able to kind of step back and look at people maybe ahead of some other schools?
I think, yeah, Kim really dictated that as far as when the announcement was made, and he made it before the tournament. That did give us an extra week on a lot of people, and I think that was helpful.
When we look at all the personalities that are out there from coaches, and there's so many, what qualities really stuck out with this guy?
I think anyone I spoke to really talked about integrity, character, work ethic. All of those things stood out to me, and I was impressed with that. And when you hear it from a president of a university and then an opposing coach, you have a good spectrum there, and so I think people just respect him a lot, and his name. No one has anything bad to say about Conjo Martin.
Jim, did you know him
personally? Sunday night, you went to him, and that was it. Your mind was made up.
Oh yeah, yes.
Jim, did you know him personally before 2 weeks ago?
So what?
Was he the guy you zeroed in on from the beginning?
Yes.
Did you know him personally before 2 weeks ago at all?
No, I knew of him, and obviously knew people that knew him very well, and I tried to get those people to at least let him feel comfortable with me as a person, so that people that I had worked with, that he knew and trusted, that he was able to call and talk to about me, and they must have lied. So
how long did the meeting last?
It was a few hours.
And
yeah.
You walk out of that, that's it.
Yeah, I going in, I thought he was. Yeah, and afterwards it validated what I thought.
When you kind of mentioned that everything was done kind of quiet, when did you guys first reach out to his agent, or how did that process work from February 24th when you made the decision to move on to last Wednesday?
I don't know the specific dates, but it was we used our search firm to reach out to his representative, and then also I had people that I knew talking to him as well. So it was both. It was both, so that he felt comfortable. Who's this guy? That's at Mizzou. I don't know him. I've never met him. That at least he knew who I was and what I was about, and then able to get us. Eventually get us together.
What's the biggest thing Conzo brings to the table that maybe the program's been missing?
That's a good thing. I think he and Kim Anderson are a lot alike. They both played for tough, hard-nosed coaches, so they could probably talk war stories, I'm sure. So they both bring that, and that's what I certainly wanted to continue with those traits into the program, and then I think he does. He's had success in building programs, and then also the intangible of being from here, having a recruiting base, having people that he maybe played high school with that can vouch for him across the state as high school or coaches or AAU coaches or those kinds of things. So his reputation is really big, and I think that'll really help him as he moves forward.
Did you feel like you had much competition for his services? Did you guys feel like you had to be pretty aggressive?
Yes.
Did you feel like you mentioned the speed of the search and how quick it was? It kind of seems like Illinois, Washington, you guys went pretty fast in all this. Do you feel like that's a sign of things to come just in general with college basketball? Just how quickly these searches go?
Oh, that's a great question. I think there's there's probably a few jobs. There's some jobs still left open, but it's the internet makes it. You can't do anything. You know, you guys know everything. You know, I can't even fly anonymously to where are you?
Right here.
Fly anonymously, you know, to Oakland, California. You know, and I thought I was being so sneaky. You know, but so. The internet really makes it so you one, you have to be confidential, and two, they've got to move quick, because then there's speculation and rumors and all of that, and you don't want it sidetracked from that.
Jim, you mentioned Konzo's relationships in the state. I mean, we've heard for 30 years in many sports the importance of recruiting St. Louis and fixing whatever issues are there. Was that a factor for you in hiring him, or how big a factor?
It definitely was. As I said, I think it's really adds to what he brings to the table. That not just that he was from there, but his reputation. And I think his reputation of a great high schooler, a college player, and then a coach, being in the state, and then at Tennessee, and then at Cal. I think that those are the things that are important. I think having that added value, if you will, of being from St. Louis and then East St. Louis. And he told me he was born there, and his mom moved him. They moved when he was 3 or 4 to East St. Louis, and so, but his family is still around there. So I think just having that is I think it should elevate our opportunities, not only in men's basketball, but women's basketball and football and all our sports. That I think it opens the door.
Jim, the assistant salary pool is pretty significant under Konzo. How important is it going to be for him to just be able to recruit the best possible assistant coaches?
Like I said up there, as far as I'm not very good without a staff of Brian and Tim and Sarah and Mary and Nick, and so it's important that he's able to have a competitive salary base and pool of money to do that. And so we looked at what was competitive in the marketplace, and so that's where we set that.
Different ADs.
The possibility with adding Michael Porter Sr. to that staff?
Yeah, he's not talking that yet, but he'll get there shortly. Yeah.
Different ADs approach it differently, but during the process is who he might look at, what kind of staff. Is that part of your evaluation, or do you hire him and all that's in his court?
Yeah, I mean, he'll ultimately have to sign off on it, but that's in his wheelhouse, and that's what I hired him to do.
Jim is 7